Good afternoon, Planet Earthgate TV. And now for the show.
Good afternoon, Planet Earth.
What's up, y'all?
What's up?
Great
Today
guitar
we
riff,
have
Amy. Sorry,
good
guitar riff.
drumming, Dom. Good drumming. Today we have an exciting guest, filmmaker. Everybody, give it up for Nicole Brevard.
Hi.
Oh my God. Nicole, we have known each other for almost 10 years. Is that?
Yeah.
Wait, Dom, we have known each other for 10 years.
That is wild.
That is crazy.
Long time.
I knew Amy before this child that's behind me was like in my belly.
You knew me before me, too.
Yes. Oh my God. So everybody out there, we met at Johnny Rockets, Hollywood and Highland. And it was
Amy was so funny. I thought Amy was the cutest thing. She had this like really blonde hair. She was doing like the beach babe, bright blonde hair and the blue eyes, and she was just like this spunky like East Coast girl, but she was so smart. I mean, she kind of had like the play bunny look, but she was just like so smart and witty. And
cool.
You were like, I'm a comedian, I do comedy, and I was like,
that's awesome. I never thought of myself.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, that is awesome. Yeah, we worked with some cool people. Kit, Mo,
Solaire.
yes, Manny. Anyway, well, I'm glad we met, and I remember, like, I'm just so glad we met. I'm glad I worked at Johnny Rockets. I met you, and then I think, yeah, we both left Johnny Rockets.
Yeah. Well, I mean, after so many, forced dancings, while you're trying to like do a million things at once, you can only handle so much. You're like, well, I'm actually serving right now. If you don't mind, I don't really want to dance like now.
So Dominic, do you know about Johnny Rockets, how they make you dance if someone plays a jukebox song?
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so if they play like Respect, I think the Bee Gees, you have to stop what you're doing and do some weird line dance.
Yeah, that they literally teach you in like 2 minutes. Yeah, but not really. They basically just throw you out there, and then like as every other server has perfected this dance, you're trying to like get it together at the same time.
Then they wonder why you messed up their order. It's like, I'm sorry, I was trying to think and dance.
Like I literally have 4 tables and this choreography, and my manager is staring at me right now.
Dominic, this place, so it was in the Times Square of Hollywood and Highland, and people thought that we were McDonald's, but we weren't. We were a dine-in service. We got paid server wage, but they treated us like we should have worked at McDonald's. It would have been better pay than.
Yeah, I definitely would have.
Yeah, I remember people would leave me pennies, and it got to the point where I'd have to be like, "Hi, I'm sorry. Are you aware that we don't make any money?" Yeah, and they would just be like, "Oh, okay," and then they would throw me like a nickel and a dime, as if it was making it better. They'd be like, "Oh, my bad."
Yeah. Or the worst is like when they're trying to like tip you, but then they're like counting their change. And well, usually it'd be like from maybe a different country and they didn't know the tipping system, but still they'd be like, is this a quarter? And I'm like, actually we have dollars and $10 bills here as well. You could use.
Yeah, I worked as a server here. I ran into that where it's like, I don't know if you guys really don't know you're not supposed to tip. Like,
Gotta love
they definitely need to include it for sure. And they definitely need to include it in the price of the meal. It would just make everybody's life easier.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I mean, it was hard to provide for oneself working there.
Yeah.
But I look back and I'm like, I did it. I don't know how I did it, but I did. It's like things seem to work out, you know?
Yeah, it's true. I do remember you were like always complaining about like your crooked like slumlord landlord.
Yeah.
You're like, then they didn't even fix anything in the apartment, and it was just the cutest thing.
You know what? It was very well, I have to say I met the coolest people in that one apartment. The problem was it had I had a roof leak, and one day I'm just sitting in my room and all of a sudden I hear like a waterfall. And I was like, what the heck is that? I look and the whole ceiling, about a quarter of the ceiling ripped open. And the guy
I remember that you telling me that.
Yes, whenever the guy upstairs would shower, it would pour in. So yeah, so then I told the building manager, I was like, "Hey, please help." And he goes, "Oh, the guy upstairs, he likes to take bubble baths." And I'm like, "What grown man takes bubble baths?" So one day, I was staying in my room and I get a knock on the door, and I was like, I pick it up and he goes, "Hey, I'm your neighbor upstairs." I'm like, "You're the guy taking bubble baths?" And he was really cute. I had a crush on him.
I was gonna say, was that the guy that you said was so hot?
Yes. I had a crush in LA. And he was my upstairs neighbor. He still follows me on Instagram. But yeah, it was like, oh, cool. Maybe this hole in the ceiling was fate to meet eye candy, you know?
Yeah. I remember some other stories about that neighbor that we will keep off of daytime.
Yes. Oh my God. Good stuff. My God. Well, fate.
I would just have all of the popcorn ready when you came to work. Like, oh, really?
Yes. Oh my God. And that made work fun. Like working with good people makes work not work. Well, you know, I'll edit this out, but it's the seniority of the tables. I would always get the bad tables, 41 and 42. Instead of the prime time, there were prime time tables where if you get your waiter there. Yeah,
Pele and Mariana.
Yeah. Oh man. Anyway.
Which I don't even know what happened to Pele. Like, where did he go?
Yeah. I think I follow him on Facebook. Pele is a rapper. But I don't
know if he's in LA either. I know Mariana, she's like a nurse now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she just finished nursing school right when the COVID thing happened. I was like,
oh. That's gotta be the worst time to, well, I mean, thank you, nurses. Thank you for all that. But oh my God, that's gotta be scary. Graduated nursing school. Yeah. And that.
They're like, well, here's a life-threatening disease that the world can't control, but you're just out of nursing school. Use everything you just learned. Go get them.
Right. Yeah, here's some sanitizer.
Like, okay, can you sanitize my lungs with that?
Right. I'm sure they deal with so much. I remember, what was it? When my appendix exploded 2 years ago, the nurses are the ones they're the ones who do all the work. Like the doctor would pop their head in and be like, "Hi, I'll swing by at 8 p.m. And then they swing by and touch my belly to see if it was stiff. I don't know what that was. And then they would just run away. And I'm like, wait, I have questions. Am I dying?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
But the nurses
they definitely
were the ones.
Yeah. The nurses are the ones who deal with everything. The doctors are just like the ones who are basically like, yep, good job. And then they're gone. Yeah. It's like, oh, so that's what you can do when you're actually 8 years, but like when you're like just like a nurse, I guess you have to deal with all the other things. Yeah. Which nursing, I mean, I feel like Isn't it the same amount of schooling too?
I know it's an intense
time.
4 years, a lot of science, a lot of math, I think, and then you gotta do something. You gotta do your clinical or something. I don't know.
I don't know if it's like with dental, with like I had an incident with dental assistant. I got my teeth cleaned. This was like a couple years ago. But you know when they let the new person come in and do it, like, hey, so and so's training, so we're gonna let her take a hand and let her start out like she's about to graduate school. And I remember she's like checking my mouth, and then the guy's like, oh wait. He's like, Sarah, would you forget gloves? And I'm just thinking, like, this girl got her hand just in my mouth. Like that. Like, I didn't know how to.
20 years later.
Yeah,
Man.
that'll mess you up. A bad haircut will ruin you. I went to a place in Heights and got a line up once, and it was like, oh, I'm ruined. Like, he just buzzed the front. I had a straight line. He gave me a hairline.
You had what's that Jim Carrey movie where they have the Dumb and Dumber with the little bowl cut?
Yeah. No, he like shaved the front.
Actually, that's actually one of my favorite haircuts. I love those.
He took a razor and like shaved the front.
So you had the oh man.
I had the lineup. My shit was a box, like Drake. Just like Drake.
So, like that's how you know what my hairline looks like.
Yeah, and he took a marker and started coloring in the side a little. Like
he did.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this is on the Lower East Side actually, but he tells me you don't even need a license to cut hair in New York. He said you
no, that's not true.
He said you can work in a shop with a license.
I used to be a receptionist in a hair salon, and I remember like some of the girls had expired hair licenses. I was like, ooh, but they have an inspector, I think, that comes. So it's like you guys gotta get this renewed. But I don't know about barber license or. Oh my god!
I think kind of all those things need like you have to like re-up your, like even I think like mechanics, right?
I think so. Yeah, I used to be a real estate agent, and I'm not anymore just because I couldn't afford the license.
Oh my god, you did?
Yeah, I went through so many jobs. I thought there was a thing as a passion job, which I realized by switching all these jobs, I'm never going to be happy unless if I'm doing what I love, which is copy, writing, doing content, anything in the entertainment industry. But I was like, I had my heart set on finding that day job that I'm just so in love with, that time flies. So I was a Pilates instructor. I was like, oh, I like doing Pilates. Yeah, I worked at Equinox. And I didn't like it. I like teaching groups because it's kind of like comedy. It is, you got your set list, which is the exercises. Moving on to the hundreds. Inhale, exhale, curl your chin to your chest. And I like group, but I worked in Equinox private, and I felt so uncomfortable being one-on-one.
So it was like one person?
Yeah, I'm not a one-on-one person. I like being with groups of people. But I mean, I just felt uncomfortable too because it was dealing with the body and people get really insecure about their bodies. I trained this one ballerina and she would just stare in the mirror, pinching her fat. And I'd be like, oh, come on, let's go. And she would just be like, what? Am I fat? Yeah, it was very, I didn't know, I wasn't skilled enough to handle it. I mean, I had my own eating disorder, situation. So I knew, not to, I think anybody going through an addiction, the main thing is don't shame people. That's the main thing of some sort, because shame, it makes the spiral worse. And whenever people point out stuff that tries to point it out, it's like, you're aware. The person going through whatever, they're aware. Everybody has their own timing of realizing when they need to grow.
I remember you mentioning that when we were, back in Johnny Rockets and stuff, how you had an eating disorder, not at the time, but it was like years before you were talking about it at the time. And then you were talking about how And then you were talking about how your mom like didn't believe you because she
No.
kind of was like downplaying it or something.
Yeah, she didn't. She'd be like, cut the crap. She'd be like, yeah, cutting the crap is going to cure me. She'd be like, why are my kids psychotic? I'd be like, can I see a therapist? I need help. She'd be like, that's an illusion. It's not real. Anyway.
It's real. I mean, I feel like anything in your mind is real.
Yeah.
You know, we all have our own realities, so anything that's in your mind is technically real for you, you know.
Yeah. Different dimensions. I'm watching a lot of stuff about how your feelings turn into things. So it's like we are not our brain, we're our mind.
Yeah.
It's different.
And our thought.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, we're not even that. It's like we're actually just energy at the end of the day. We're like conscious energy.
Yes.
And like that's like really what it.
Yes. They say you're not a soul with a body. You're not a body with a soul. You're a soul with a body. So it's like the body is just our exterior thing. It's the soul.
Yeah.
Because
the soul is really just like the consciousness.
Yes, that's right. Yes,
like it's still not even like our physical.
Do you have any favorite YouTube things you listen to kind of tune into that consciousness?
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure like most people have heard of this, but like when I think I was like 19, I literally watched this documentary for the same. It literally is about quantum mechanics and like quantum physics.
Yes.
But it illustrates everything through computer animation. And then like what was the girl who's like the main actress? Molly, she was like the Yeah, so she's like the main actress who kind of, it's like a narrative storyline. And they use her as an example for basically the audience to follow along. And then they have all these like visuals for you to see. So it breaks down everything that you could honestly, the only reason why I can literally sound like a NASA scientist when people like mention anything about time travel or about like cloning or like anything is from this documentary, because it lays down every foundation that you would possibly need, and you literally are just like, wow, that's basically it. And basically, they kind of take religion and science and they merge them together.
And it's
about like like spiritual principles and things.
Yeah, and it's what all the like old like Albert Einstein use. I think, I don't know, like a bunch of people, those Think and Grow Rich, they all used it to get rich. And
they did.
Yeah, they knew about. So supposedly, this way of thinking has been used for years, but a lot of people kept it a secret, or it's similar to The Secret. They kept it a secret because they didn't want too many people getting successful. I don't know, but
taking control of their own life.
Yeah. And it's not easy to apply.
We want to go into conspiracy,
yeah,
because it's like they were saying like negative thoughts like scientifically way more than positive thoughts. Like the ions are like heavier, so that's why it's easier to believe and stick with negative things than it is like positive, because it's a different vibration. And basically they teach you everything comes down to vibration. So it's not even as like trivial as we think. It's just different channels of like vibration tunes and stuff.
Yes. They say one negative thought cancels out like a bunch of positive thoughts. Because
I think it's like 10.
Yeah. And the older I'm getting, the more I'm realizing that it's about your feelings too. Mm-hmm. Like I remember I used to be addicted to being in pain. Like that's the weirdest thing, but I would pity myself and be like, poor me. Like I cause problems for myself by being like, they don't like me or I don't get anything. And I would just sulk. listen to sad music and be like, I'm broke. Like, and then, hello,
Yeah, I
I'm
think
broke.
that's the artist coming out. I feel like all artists are like emos.
Yes, Eckhart Tolle calls it the pain body. When you just like
Yeah.
sulk in that pain. And it's like, at a certain point, this is not getting me anywhere. So it's time to, we have no choice but to find a way to feel good. But then there's toxic positivity where, people are saying, oh, good vibes and all that. That people are saying that that's no good. And I could see that. But what I'm learning, it's about identifying the negative and realizing that's your body's compass of telling you that's what you don't want.
Yeah.
There's people there's people like, I go, hey, you should, there's people that will be like, you really believe that crap works and stuff. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
I think it at least works better than, it works better than doing nothing. Try to get something, at least try it.
Yeah. Well, and then the thing is, on that documentary, they were talking about how like everything is like basically like a net, like a fish net. And so like, okay, where like the net connects, like the knots at the joining parts of the net. Those are like thoughts and habits. Wow. And it takes like 30 days to break a habit. So when you try to break a habit, it doesn't want to like disconnect. But after like 30 days, it will literally disconnect and reroute itself somewhere else. Like that's like scientifically proven. So it is true that you have to like keep telling yourself these things until you reroute your brain, and then your brain's gonna just go on that new track.
Yes. What's weird? I did a manifestation challenge, and I'm not even kidding. I had a TikTok video hit 30K views.
Oh wow!
Like that. So Nicole, so Dom and
What'd you do? Show your tits? I'm kidding.
I know it feels like that's what you got to do these days to get. No, so Dom and I, we have had this TikTok challenge where we post 5 videos a day, and I got overwhelmed. I didn't do all of the days. I did 1 video, so I've been doing like 1 or 2 a day, and then I'm not even kidding, this 1 video started blowing up. I was like, what? Let me show you guys.
Yeah, let me see.
Wait, let me show you.
That one.
Yeah,
wait, a little bit down.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, 4,000 something likes, and then 37. Wow. That was like a miracle. So anyway, I think the manifestation.
So you're like a viral celeb now.
Hey, I'll take it. But it reaffirmed my dreams. I thought, I used to think, oh, I'm never going to go, get a video that goes more than 150 likes or whatever. Yeah. But this manifestation challenge helped me shift and let that go. Like, stop thinking garbage.
Yeah.
But Dom,
what did you actually do? Like, what did you tell your, like, what was like your process, like, mentally?
So it was this Gabrielle Bernstein 21-day manifestation challenge. So day 1, I forget what exactly the days, but so pretty much one day you visualize, you do a whole thing visualizing what you want. And that was fun. It's so fun to live in that. And then another day she tells you to let go, like stop, because if you try too hard, it pushes your desires away because you're telling the world that you don't believe you deserve it. And I was like, Another day is like give. So find something to give, whether it's like vacuuming for your parents or doing something not for yourself. And stuff like that. But it was just a little bit every day. So I don't know if that's related to the TikTok thing, but I think I wanted to get a video.
I think so.
Yeah, because I was so desperate to get a video that popped a little that it fought it back. But Tom, did you do the TikTok
believe it.
challenge?
Yeah. I didn't do the TikTok challenge. I'll be honest, I'm kind of slacking on, but I'm gonna make up for it. I only made a couple of videos, but I'm gonna kick gear. I was just made the note to myself. That's the most important thing. We have this TikTok challenge to where we're gonna post 5 videos a day each and see how much of a difference it makes in the growth of the channel. But I actually did the visualization. I think I said it right. I did that before with trying to prove my uncle wrong, and it worked out. He was trying to tell me about it, and then I was telling my roommate about it, and then they're like, oh well, I did it, and I'm like, okay, let me just try it. So, anyways, I thought of something I would never try to see. It was a tennis ball. It's just like play tennis. It just came to me, right? Like, I don't know. I seen a thing where I was thinking, like, I don't know what made me think of it, honestly, but a tennis ball. And my roommate, like, 3 weeks later, I pulled a muscle in my back, and they just handed me a tennis ball, blew me away. Like, it's so crazy.
What?
They were like,
Whoa,
this
what?
all around. Yeah.
Whoa.
Then,
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I used it once more for a car, and the way it worked out was pretty crazy. Like, I had the picture of the car. I don't know the steps I did exactly. I don't know what I did. I remember just really thinking about the car, pretending I had it already. That was like something I was trying to convince myself, like, oh, I get to pick up my car at this time. But then the car came in that was like pretty much the exact same car, and I bought it. I just so happened to have the money. And it's just like, well, it's not like I even had the money in the bank. I wasn't sitting on a lot of money. But I actually got like some crazy back pay on my taxes for the money of the car. Like, I got 2 checks.
Wow, that's crazy.
Back to back.
Wow.
Like, one was for $1,700, and then one was for like $800, and it was the exact amount of money for the car.
That's
that's so
amazing.
crazy.
And then from then on, I just used the secret to get fat and not achieve any of my dreams. Because that's what I seem to be doing.
Just daydreaming about
You know what?
pizza.
The funny thing about that is that they said that your mind is like so strong, is that like you could watch somebody work out every day, and if you like really intently thought about like put yourself in their shoes, that you would actually have like some results.
That's amazing.
That's how strong the mind is.
I believe it, because it would build up your metabolism, maybe.
Yeah. Well, it's like your brain would tell your brain, if you saw somebody like struggling to lift these like weights each time, at some point you would start sympathizing and feeling like you were, doing it. You would see them sweating. I said sweating. But I feel like your body would start reacting at some point. Like, oh man, my arms are so tired. Like, even though you didn't do anything.
They say your mind does not know the difference between your thought and reality.
Yeah. There's actually, I literally just finished reading, but not reading, audio reading. I say reading with my ears. And this book called, is this audio book. Yeah, because it's like 2020. Now it's 2021. But it was called The Wisdom of Psychopaths. And it was kind of about like, what was it about? Honestly, I guess it's kind of off topic, but it was basically about how everybody is a psychopath.
Whoa.
But the ones who are actually the killers, those are called dysfunctional psychopaths. Isn't that crazy?
Whoa.
And they were saying that like, they said like the majority of our society's psychopaths are like our leaders. But see, it's like, it's trying to show you that that word isn't like a negative connotation, because it says they have like these habits, which are like extreme focus, the ability to kind of like outrule anything else besides, there's my dog, to outrule anything else besides what they want. They are really meticulous about organizing things. There's just like all these habits they have that are made for successful people. And they were like, okay, so basically maybe a serial killer and like the most famous and the most talented neurosurgeon have the exact same characteristics. But it's just one's ability to channel it in that, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I was watching something on TV and they said the thing about psychopaths is they don't have empathy because they genuinely believe that it was the right decision, or they, you know, whatever. So yeah, there is that like mentality of like they're in
commitment. It's like there's a commitment level.
Right. Right. So
it was really interesting.
We could use our psychopath level for the good and not the bad. Whenever I see the article,
I think that's what they were trying to say. Because like the person who wrote the book, it was like some type of, you know, psychoanalyst person. But I think he said his dad was a psychopath growing up. I don't think he was like a killer, but I think the guy grew up to analyze his dad and realized that his dad had all these tendencies of a psychopath. So then he started studying all these different, even like people with autism who are like really, really, you know, genius. They have the same qualities as like, you know, but he said basically everybody is a psychopath, but except for like the dysfunctional ones, which are the ones who kill people.
That is interesting. Whenever I see those BuzzFeed, are you a psychopath tests? I'm always afraid to take it. I'm like, I don't want to find out. Maybe I am.
There's a test
I know.
to see if there's a test to see if you're a psychopath, I guess, is if you keep yawning around somebody and the mirror neurons, if they don't yawn back, it means they don't have empathy.
Oh,
so like you just keep, like if I just keep yawning right now, you guys will probably yawn. It's mirror neurons. Even just saying yawn and just going like,
I don't know. Yes.
One of us, I was just saying, you have to do it. No, you have to do it randomly because now we know. So one of us has to yawn before this.
That was a real yawn.
Oh.
That was a real one. That was a real one.
Oh God.
Let's see.
I'm actually writing yawn right now.
Yes. You see. Oh my God.
Yawning, saying it. Neither of you guys have empathy. Hold on, now I'm yawning.
No. Actually, my jaw like wants to. It's like halfway there, but it's not all the way committed.
Yes. But also I think there's that if you know you should, you don't.
Yeah.
So it has to be natural.
That's why random.
Yeah, if they say don't think of a purple elephant, you think of a purple elephant.
Yeah, for sure.
The brain is so weird. Anyway, let's get to talking about you, Nicole. Like, it's so cool. I love seeing you live your dreams, make cool content. And how did you get into film? Because I love you are doing it. Like, everybody follow Nicole at your Instagram is, what's your Instagram handle?
Nicole _ Mystic Film Studios.
Okay, I'm gonna write that. Hold on. I'm gonna make a banner. Nicole. That's it, right? The little thing on the bottom.
Oh yeah, it's so cute. I was like, where? Yeah, I see it. It's cute.
Awesome. So yeah, everybody follow Nicole for all updates. She posts cool content. But yeah, like, how did you go from Johnny Rockets to film?
This is a really long story. I went to school for screenwriting and directing. Growing up, I had to give my mom the credit. She was literally obsessed with films. She would make it, like when we would go to the movie theater, she would like make us watch like 2 or 3 movies. Like we would just be there all night, like literally. So I would just, pay for one movie, and then we would just bounce from theater to theater. It was just like that every weekend. And we just got in the habit of watching the Oscars every year. And my grandma, I used to watch the black and white movies with her and her little moo and stuff like that. So I just really grew up around cinema and television. And eventually I was like, I just want to go to school and make movies. And I think I was like 16. It was after I had watched Being John Malkovich that I had decided that I wanted to that was like my official proclamation. I remember in my head that I was like, I want to be a director. Like that movie was just so cool, that the way that they could kind of just change your reality, and you can create whatever world you want. And I just thought that was like such an amazing ability. And I went to school for screenwriting and directing when I was 21 in San Francisco. And when I was there, I met some people in the grad program, and they would let me, well, I'm sure they would love it, but they would just let me write stuff. They were like, oh, I have this idea, and then I would just write it. So that's how I really got used to like screenwriting and developing stories that weren't my own. And you know, they would just let me on set and just do random things. And then I eventually moved down. Actually, you know what? And then wait, am I supposed to tell you my whole story, or should I cut it short?
Whatever, like, yeah, whatever works, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Okay, so yeah, so then when I was in the Bay, I applied for this ad on Craigslist for like a writer director for this like this show on public access. And this guy had like this show in New York on public access, and he had it in like Minnesota, and he was trying to bring it to the Bay. And then they basically recreated real news stories, like real things that happened in the, yeah, like in the headlines. So it would be like in the newspaper, like it was political stuff. And then he would like, it was like surrounding like a newsroom. I had to put my hands up high enough. It was like a newsroom. And then, so that's kind of how I really got into like writing and directing. I mean, directing, because he didn't have anyone to direct, and he just literally didn't care. And I was just like, oh, I'll do it. So it was a really young age where I started to just be able to be on set and kind of decide what I wanted to see. And then I moved to LA, and I wrote a screenplay around the time you and I were working together. I was writing a screenplay, and then
I remember that.
I actually got like, yeah. And then I actually finished it, and then I got some distribution. I think it's just like you said, like meeting the right people and really just keeping your mind positive and just open. And what I do a lot is that I've always, I've never really talked about the money. Like it was always about what's the project about? Okay, do we have the same vision? How are we going to accomplish this? And then later on, like, if money came up, then I would bring up money. But if they didn't have a budget, it wasn't really a big deal, because it's about what can we make the project and like where can we take it. So I always just moved from project to project, even if it wasn't my own. And I really would take people who maybe didn't know how to execute as well as I could, and I would do it for like almost nothing, or sometimes nothing, you know. And I would just basically, each project is like, you don't know who's going to see it. Like each person knows like at least 2,000 people. So I would just basically, first what I did is I did my own projects, because especially being a woman, because I had this whole Me Too situation way back, like probably right after you left. I had this feature film that we had gotten the budget up to like $1 million. I wrote it myself. Like I was casting everybody. We had like, honestly, I had Michael B. Jordan before anybody knew who he was. Like he had signed on.
And
we
that
had a lot of people.
That would have been his breakout film, right?
Yeah, this was right after he did that swimming movie. He did a swimming movie, and then with like Terrence Howard and a bunch of other people. And then Red Tails was coming out, the George Lucas film about the Tuskegee Airmen. And this was before Red Tails. It was like maybe 6 months before Red Tails was set to come out. So, but nobody knew who he was. He fit the character as far as like visual. And they read the script, and then they liked it. And then it was like all this stuff. But my business partner was just one of those things where, you know, obviously he wanted more than business partnership. And I just was like, no, like, that's just not me. Like, I'm not going to get to the next level that way. Like, that's just not going to happen, because at the end of the day, if I wanted to do that, I wouldn't even be a filmmaker. I would, you know what I mean? I would do something else. And so I was so young. I was like 24, and I literally kamikazed the whole project. And so I was actually really depressed for a while. I didn't work with film for like 4 years. And then eventually I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this again, but I'm going to do it independently. And I started my own company. I got the LLC, and I just started making my own little projects, like little short films, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. And I would put them on my Instagram. And then, you know, BTS, if somebody had a photo shoot, I would record the BTS and then I would cut it up and make it really cute with music. And then the next person would say, hey, can you do my BTS? And I'll give you $50. And then I would do that. And then I would, you know, photograph people, even if they didn't ask me to photograph. Like if I was filming something, I would take the stills and I would turn them into images so it looked like, you know, a photo shoot. So, and I would post them on my Instagram. And then it was just like one thing after another. They saw your own projects, and then people started trusting me with their projects. Like, hey, I have this idea. I like what I see. Can you do it? And, you know, of course they didn't know. I'm like so nervous, you know, but I'm like, yeah, of course. And so it was just one photo shoot after the other, one short film after the other, and then, you know, feature films and, you know, stuff like that. And that's literally how I did it.
Wow.
You have to like do your own stuff first, because you, especially being a woman, you can't just go around and be like, oh, I'm a filmmaker, you know, because people are like, are you sure? And you're like, yeah, actually I am sure, you know.
Right. But yeah, why is it that women have to prove ourselves harder, like for everything? But you know, some people will be like, oh, it's easier. It's like, no, I mean, that took so much courage. What you did, you stuck to what your gut was telling you, like, no, this is not okay. And you know, cut ties with that. That must have been really hard.
Yeah, I was literally, and I was so traumatized that I didn't even realize, like when that whole Me Too thing was going around, I didn't even realize that I was a part of that same scenario. Like I just never even thought about it. And I was like, oh, I guess, because that was just the climate, you know, growing up, all the people before us. I don't want to say that's what they had to do, but that was just the environment. And I think that, and the guy was way older. He was like in his 50s or 60s. I mean, I was the producer, but he was in charge of the financing, you know, so it was like this kind of partnership. And so at the end of the day, he just thought that he could hold that over my head and be like, oh, well, you know, if you don't do this, then, you know, we're not going to get the check. And I'm like, well,
so he really like quid pro quoted. He was like, if you, did you say like, I don't feel comfortable with it? And then he was like, all right, no biggie.
Yeah, no. And the thing is, I had told him like a series of times, just like here and there. And I definitely wasn't looking like this every day. I mean, this is just like, but you know, I was definitely really professional, wasn't flirting at all. But like I said, it was just the climate of how things work in Hollywood. And I'm just so glad that like people don't tolerate that anymore, because so many people have lost their career, even men too, you know, just dealing with the wrong people. But you have to just stick to your guns. And I think that just karmically, like I said, I just would give so many projects without expecting pay, just to get the project done, to have as much on my resume as possible, to have as much on my portfolio as possible, to the point where I literally get a gig every week, like, and it's been like that for the last year, like a paying gig every week for like the last year. And I feel like I'm so fortunate to be in that position where I can say like now I'm like a paid professional filmmaker, but it's not easy. It's definitely not easy to start out with, but you just have to have the tenacity and you have to believe in yourself. And I was really never a partier. I don't really go out. It was only about filmmaking. Like I just stayed home, writing, editing, and that's all I did until, you know, the demand just got high enough where, you know, that's just what it is.
Yeah. I know. It's like as artists, we always, it never ends, which is the excitement about it, but also it's like hard to find balance sometimes.
Yeah.
I think.
No, it's true. It's true. Yeah, I finally got to the point where now I feel, oh, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, you know, going back to what you're saying, just doing it, you know, I think that's a really huge piece of it. Just saying, you know what, I'm going to do this and other people are going to figure out, because that's like how I got into acting. I was taking acting classes in New York. Like I was on Backstage and Actors Access, and everything I got was like fake. It was like somebody saying, well, if you give me $200 or if you use my headshot guy, I never got maybe one real thing I got, and I think it only paid like $20, like within 2 years.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
started doing my own sketches. I said, I'm tired of this.
Yeah.
And then I just started after putting like 10 of them out, people just started hitting me up like, hey, can you be
Yeah.
in this? And it still seems to
Yeah.
work like that. Like people just want,
Yeah.
like in Tommy Boy, you know, they want the guarantee on the box. People just want to know, like,
It's true.
yo, this is what I'm
That's
getting.
Yeah, no, it's true. And
Like,
I recommend to anybody who's trying to do anything, like, you have to do it yourself because there's so much competition. Like you said, people want to see what you can do. And unfortunately, none of us have a name. So all we have is like our Instagram to market ourselves, or like a, you know, like a website if you make yourself a website. But that's all we have is, so it's like, if you just shoot, edit, get as good as you can, you know, at what you do, then eventually people are going to be like, hey, like, can you do this? You know, for me,
right.
they want
So
they want what you got.
And it's like patience, because you know, with certain things I don't see results and then I quit, I get discouraged, and you know, my family's like, you're wasting your time, you're wasting everything, you know. But I'm like, no, hold off. And then hopefully a little bouts of success could be shown, so one does not quit. And when it does, when like this TikTok thing, like, sad, you're talking about amazing
You're like, I'm
movies, and I'm
TikTok
like,
famous,
my
bitch.
my TikTok. But just that little thing, it kind of reminded me, like, stop, like, don't give up. But that's it.
Yeah,
If you
for
keep
sure.
that phrase, never, 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 like, it's so prolific, that phrase, never, never. But it's true. Don't give up. And what you mentioned is you didn't do it for the money. You focused on the
Yeah.
project. And I think that is
Yeah.
key too, because with money, it's a whole other vibration, and it's desperation, that need, it goes in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, if one focuses on the fun and continues to do it,
Yeah.
it's bound to
It's
happen.
yeah. It's definitely gonna come.
Oh no, you can go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's definitely gonna come.
What would you say your process is after? Okay, so you get the idea, you sit down, you hound out all the writing, you get it to how you like it, it's wrote how you want it. What would you say your process after that is? The next steps to the final, till you're done with it, till it's over. Yeah.
The next step is probably wardrobe, costume, and like set design. Like, what do I want to look like? Because I think independent filmmakers, especially in the narrative, they don't spend as much time on like set design, and that, I feel like that's the difference between just having your friends over at your house, you know, and something that's actually competitive, you know, in the industry.
Yeah.
And so what I would do is, like, I would slowly put money, because I didn't have a lot of money, so I would just slowly, honestly, like, even if I could only put $100 a month, I would just slowly get my props, and I would slowly get my set design together, like, and I would just buy the things I needed off of Amazon one at a time until I felt like I got everything I needed. And then I would like cast and and even people who are literally like my brothers and sisters, I would still pay them. Even if I couldn't pay them a lot, I would pay them $50 a day. And it wasn't a whole day. I would tell them out just 3 hours. So I would make sure I knew exactly what I was going to shoot in 3 hours, and I would try to make sure I couldn't go over. Like, sometimes I would go over maybe 30 minutes or something, but it was really important to me. I think that's what you were saying too about like karma and the cycle, is making sure I'm even paying my friends for their time, because it's like, they would do it for free, but it's like, I want to get paid, so I'm going to pay them. And a lot of times, like, I was putting out way more money for years than I was even getting back, just because I just knew that I wanted to get paid, and I have to pay people, because I had friends that were actors that weren't getting paid. And if I'm going to do a project, I have to invest in my own project, you know, and that's kind of what that was about. But I will have to say is that most of the projects that I've been working on lately were actually other people, so I didn't write them. It was more of them coming to me with the script, and then me reading the script and then analyzing how it can be shot. And then I would, number one, I can shoot anything for free. Like, if we don't have a budget, we can make it work no matter what. That's just the way I am. But I will ask, how much is your budget? I'm not gonna ask how much I'm getting paid. I'm gonna ask how much is the budget, so then I know what we can do and what we can't do. And then from there we would just start with the set design first, visual, sending them images of what I had in mind, Google images of locations, lighting, stuff like that, just to get the tone. And then I'd be like, okay, we need to get these lights. We can get these lights on Amazon. I mean, even just the lights in my background. Like I literally got these on Amazon. They were $45. It's all over my house.
Yeah.
I don't know if you see. And they change color. It's literally there's like a photo there. I got them on Amazon. They were $45, but it just changes the whole tone of. So anyways, it's not about what it is. It's about being as efficient as you can with the money that you do have. So honestly, that's what we did first, and then and then after that, we just organized the shooting schedule, because especially when we don't have big budgets to keep people. I hate being on set all day long, like as a filmmaker, and I used to be an actress. Like, I think it's the rudest thing to ask people for little to no pay to be there all day. Like, I don't care how good the quality is. It's just rude, and I think it's disrespectful. And so we would just organize the whole shooting schedule. Like, okay, what are we going to shoot that day? All right, so this is what we're going to shoot. This is who's going to come at this time. Then they can go. Then we need these people to come, And so it wasn't like people just laying there all day. And I think that just helps with the rapport and your business ethic, and then people wanting to come back, because maybe you do have a project in the future that you don't have enough to pay them all the way as much as you want. So they're more willing to come back if they know it's only going to be 2 or 3 hours, of their time. Get the shot, and then they can go.
And they'll have more energy too to like act. I remember doing these free student films and stuff, and I'd be there, and by the time I would go, I'd be ready for bed, and it was just
I know.
Have to psych yourself up and go in a mental space of giving yourself energy when you don't, because these call times are 5 a.m. and stuff, and then you film at 8:30 at night and you're hungry.
Exactly. Like, who does that? Like, that's just, I would be like, you guys are literally insane.
I know. What's it called when they give you your clip or access to the thing to use on your reel?
Call sheet? Yeah.
I didn't even get the footage so I could put it in my reel. So it was like, come on. Clint Eastwood, he does that where he's like, I do it in three takes or something, or he's just known for being fast, and I know that's why people like working for him for that reason. He's just very fast.
Yeah. Well, people have things to do. They have things to do, and unless you're like a major studio, I mean, obviously you do have like the artsy people who don't mind. They'll sit there all day. But if number one, you definitely have to have food, right? Yeah. People want to eat. They need water, and they need IMDb credit. That's if they're not getting paid. But we paid almost everybody except for the extras that we found on Craigslist. But even they got to eat and, drink and be merry, and I made sure that even if they weren't getting paid and they were like extras, they had screen time. Like, you're going to get screen time. You're not just going to be like in the back. So that's another thing that we would put on the ads. Like, okay, extra, IMDb credit, food, 3-hour max, guaranteed screen time. In and out, and it just builds that rapport for people. And I feel like you just got to, we have to slowly change the environment of Hollywood of just being this like diva, dickhead mentality of, this is my production, I can do whatever I want, you're just a pawn. Because at the end of the day, everybody thinks artists are crazy, which speaking of, but that's another reason why I did Hollywood Hustle, is because I just wanted to show this whole other side of artistry. Like, it's not easy. Like, people are out here literally sacrificing some personal relationships for their art and what they believe in, and we have to one by one change the climate of what the business feels like. It shouldn't feel like a pit of hell, that you're sacrificing your soul to. It's a place where we change the whole world. I mean, the whole world loves TV and comedy and film, the whole entire world, and so we have that privilege of holding that light up for everybody, no matter the content.
Yeah, the Hollywood Hustle show is awesome. By the way, I remember watching. So Soler, was it his fashion show, and the music did not work? One of the episodes, there was a
Yeah.
technical difficulty, and people were like, "Look, we'll just do without it or something," and it magically, or well, not magically, it ended up working. But I loved how you
Yeah.
showed the reality of what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, well, I had to actually get it to work, and I was actually just supposed to be a guest with like my pretty face, and then I showed up, and he was literally pissed off, and I was like, "What's wrong?" And then he was like, "We can't get the video." It was a video release party, and they couldn't get the video, and I was like, "What?" And he
The
was like,
whole
and it was,
purpose.
"Yeah." The director had been drinking, Jared had been drinking, like nobody really gave a shit that much. I mean, they did, but they almost gave up by the time I got there, and I was just like, it was just crazy. So I, just finagled. I mean, honestly, it wasn't that complicated. You guys could probably figure it out since you guys work with computers and stuff. Basically, we just had to it was stuck in somebody's Google Drive, and they couldn't get it out because they couldn't sign in because they forgot their password, and then it was just all this weird stuff. You had to just finesse the whole thing. Like, okay, well, you send it to me, and then I'll download. Yeah. So it was just like that. It really wasn't that complicated, but they couldn't figure it out, which is great because I looked like the hero.
And then
yeah. So, but yeah, we got it to work, and honestly, it was really that simple. But I with the show, which I'm gonna try to shop around once I finish these next sets of interviews, is that I just want to show like even the stuff that you guys do behind the scenes. Like, it's just, people think that all we do is like fun and games. And it's like, no, we're trying to build a career and a life for ourselves. And it looks like we're just playing with crayons and painting, but we're really not. We're strategizing, we're studying the marketplace, and we're trying to be unique, and we're trying to, still be commercial at the same time. It's a really difficult balance. And I feel like everybody looks down on artists until it's like they're the millionaire on posters and magazines. Then it's like, oh yeah, what a wonderful lifestyle. But they don't see half of the stuff that we go through to get there. And that's kind of really what I want to show with the show.
That's great. That sounds really
and
cool.
I told Amy that I definitely want you guys. Well, I told Amy I definitely want you guys on. I'm going to interview you guys as well. I just have to finish editing this film, and then so in March I'll come back and interview you guys for the show, and then it'll be great. You guys can send me some like BTS and stuff like that. Oh wait, I forgot we're still recording.
BTS.
Okay, but you can send me like stuff.
You said BTS, and I pretended like I knew what BTS is. I'm like, I don't know what it is.
You get just like behind the scenes. It's just like behind the scenes stuff. Like, you could. I don't know if. Wait, are you guys? You guys aren't on lockdown, are you?
Yeah, we
kinda.
Are you guys New York shut down.
I mean, we're shut down too, but like, I just wasn't sure if you guys were shut down, because it would be like I would have somebody come and like follow you guys for like, you guys' whole setup, like each one of you, like,
yeah,
that's
like
cool.
Somebody, I mean, I don't know them, but if you're like, oh, I know this camera guy, but he'll like charge us like $75 film for the, a couple of hours, something like that, and then I would just use that BTS, and then you guys would talk about, what you do and who you are and stuff like that, and cut it together.
Well, if we could do it with the iPhone, let us know. We'll be like,
we can. No, we definitely can. We can adapt anyway. It will definitely make it work. Don't worry.
Cool. And then you have 2 projects coming up. World of Orishas? Is that?
Oh, yeah.
And True Ripper. So when are they coming out, and how can we see them?
Okay, the World of Orishas, you know how like mythology kind of overlaps from culture. Anyways, so he wrote that story, and we shot it in the fall, and it should be screening in February. I think he said the 1st or 2nd week of February. But after it's screening, I believe he's just going to put it on YouTube. So I can definitely send you, that when that's ready. And then the True Blue Ripper was written by Jason Allen, which you can also see a clip on my Instagram. and it's a horror film, basically kind of like Freddy Krueger, but it's like a cop who has like that ability to like go inside your head and kind of like haunt you, and he stalks this group of friends. It's kind of like the old Scream movies, you know, just your classic horror film, and so kind of revisioned. And that one should be done like end of probably beginning of March. I'm not sure when that's going to be available to the public. He's still strategizing his like marketing plan, but for sure we'll have like an extended trailer at probably the beginning of March for that.
Cool. Yeah, the trailer looks awesome. I like horror films that are that like old school kind of. There used to be suspense, and now I watch horror films and it's all like bloods and guts and stuff. But that's exciting too.
Yeah. So yeah, and that was and I mean honestly that's all I did, like 2020 and honestly from 2018 to the end of 2020, all I did was shoot as much as stuff as I could get. I was like overlapping projects, any BTS I could get, any short films I could get. I was just shooting as much as I could, and it just got to the point where now it's like they're both, you know, coming out at the same time. They're both, you know, almost done at the same time. And I just want to stress that's the most important thing, is just like focusing on the work, and then everything else will come after that, you know.
Yeah. What's your YouTube handle?
It's just Mystic Film Studios. Mystic Film Studios. I don't really advertise it that much. Right now I'm just like loading things on it. But yeah, you could definitely go there and peek and tiptoe around.
Awesome. And all right, let's get into some hot topics. Let me see here. Okay, so here we go. If you could put 5,000 hours experience into one skill instantly, what would it be? What about you, Nicole?
I feel like I would put in what skill? I think I would choose like time travel, or like some type of futuristic like hoverboards and stuff like that.
Ooh.
Technology, is that what I would say? Is that?
Yeah, like building.
I'm still mad about the hoverboards and stuff. I need a hoverboard. I need a flying car.
Yes. I remember when I was a kid, I thought we would have flying cars by now.
Yeah, we actually do, but that's like a whole nother thing.
I bet you we do. Yeah. I mean, how would it even work though with air, the clearance? You know how they gotta clear the airplanes to let them know if it's clear? Oh, that'd be a mess.
There'd be some different accidents. Driving drones, maybe, but it's like, you know, that's some crazy accidents.
Yes. Yeah. That would be cool to like know technology.
Yeah. Yeah. No technology and just be like, because you know, actually the thing is like, have you guys ever tried that VR, the Oculus Quest, like headset?
No. Oh, for PlayStation? Or
no, it's like it's on its own. It's not connected to any thing. It's literally the craziest. Like, I don't know what they did, but when you put them on, your whole soul feels like you're in this world. Like it's so real. I can't even explain it.
And what is this?
It's the craziest.
It's Oculus.
Yeah, it's called the Oculus Quest.
Oh.
And it's honestly, it's the craziest thing in the entire world. You don't need a computer. I mean, some of them you can connect to the computer, but if you buy like this, whatever, some of them you don't. You just have to buy the one that you don't connect to the computer. But It is out of this world. Like if you put those on, you will literally feel like you've made it to the future.
Oh,
wow.
It's like
where you're at. Like, let me go to space, the ocean.
Yeah, you can play games, you can exercise, and you have to make this border on the ground of like where your perimeter is in the room, and it creates this giant wall. It's like it's an invisible wall, but when you have it on and if you step close to it, it like lets you know that you're out of this boundary, so you don't like knock down all your lamps in your house. It's about $400, which isn't it's really not that bad, but if you look at this, you will. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just crazy.
I wonder.
I
if
wish
that's
I would have
the-
put all my attention into something like that,
Yeah,
like
I
you know,
wonder.
like VR stuff like that.
Yeah, could you imagine the money one could make, like if you invented that? Um,
You know?
I wonder, like, if you could use that for manifesting, like, put it on, and you are where you're at because you got to feel it as if it already happened. You know?
Yeah, yeah. So you're saying it should be called UR and not VR?
Ooh, oh, I think you got something. You
That's
you
cool.
gotta invent that.
No, you said it. I thought you said it.
No,
You
oh
didn't
my
say
God.
that?
Well, we could go into it together. All three of us will
Yeah.
have you are, and it's where you put it on, you're already there, so you manifest. You're quicker to manifest.
That's
Yeah.
cool. It's
Oh my
smart.
gosh, what a great idea.
Oh my gosh,
And
when
you
we
just keep
publish
it
this,
on like before you go to bed.
yes, some Silicon Valley guy is gonna love this idea after we publish it. I don't know. If anybody knows how we can make this, please contact us.
It's so true. I wish I knew how to do stuff like that.
Same. What about you, Dom?
If I had 5,000 hours just to learn something, I would realistically, I guess I would learn to cook. That'd be cool. I think cooking would be a cool one. I want to learn to cook. Like make it really taste good though.
Yeah. That's cool.
Like versus
Yeah.
anything
So what do you
else.
cook right now?
I'm experimenting a little bit with oatmeal and eggs. I make like my oatmeal. I go in on it. Put eggs and like omelets. I make some chicken, but it's not like the best. But I would want to just cook like some 5-star Top Chef with the little Hershey syrup where you put a little design and cut half a strawberry, like that.
That's so funny. It'll go a long way though.
Yeah, I know. Like, cause the dates I've been taking, because right now it's like you gotta take somebody out to eat, but it's so much cooler if you just say, "Hey, I'll cook for you."
So
And it's
true.
better.
Yeah.
You ever see like now I'm looking at everybody's hands making stuff since the pandemic. And some of these cooks aren't wearing gloves, you know, it's just like, I don't know. You know, the dirtiest places are the best food. Like, what's up with that?
That is true. I know. Waitressing, we
You're
Like, well, we're all gonna
thing.
get the virus anyway, so.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes you stronger.
Yeah.
The dirty food, I guess. What about you, Amy? 5,000 hours?
Wow. Oh my gosh. So I was going to say screenwriter because, I mean, there's something so respectable about being a good writer. You know, like
Yeah, I
that
can
is
see you as a writer though.
I do it for so that's the thing. I write every day. I started a screenplay and then I realized I didn't I read my book, Save That Cat, and I was following. I did the Aaron Sorkin master class, but the thing is, I still get lost in sense of character arcs and the foils.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of my creative stuff blindly to where I waste time. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh wow, like 3 weeks are down the toilet because I started a project where I didn't know all
Where
the
it was
things.
going.
But the thing is, I am having fun, so I wonder if I just continue. Maybe I'll just do it for the fun, like we were talking about earlier. Do it, focus on the fun, not the money, and who knows. But then Dom's cooking thing though got me kind of wishing I was a good cook too. It's so embarrassing cooking for people. Like my cooking, oh God, you got to be organized. I think with being a good cook, it's like, you know, when I cook, there's so many things, lids ripped off, bags open.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh God, what do I do?
Nothing's measured.
Yeah, it's true.
I have a few short films that I tried to write, but you know, mine are only like 10 pages. But I always
but
like
that's cool.
Yeah,
You didn't shoot them?
I haven't shot them yet. Like all I've done was write them. Now, like it's good to know that you said like I should focus on the wardrobe. I didn't think about that. The background. I'm still looking for like a camera person and the actors. It's just wrote though. But for the character, I always like try to think of an I. Like I start off with something like the character. I don't know if you ever use this. And then like the cursive letter I, you know how it goes, it's going up the character to
I like
explain
that.
it. Like if the character doesn't believe in himself, there's all these reasons why he don't believe in himself. And that's the top.
Yeah.
People are like, yo, you don't believe in yourself. Then he starts to believe in himself, maybe. Like, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
But as far as like everything, I don't know, going like a full script, like a full 100 pages, to me is crazy. You give me 8 or 9, I feel
It's
like I kind of,
yeah.
a couple of rewrites, but I just don't know, like, from there. Like,
I actually don't think it's necessary, honestly, today to do a full feature anymore.
You know,
I feel like you could have a really good career doing a bunch of shorts and putting them on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah, I did take a screenwriting class, and the professor said the same thing. She said, you know, like a lot of people, they like you to make a short film, and then if it's successful, they like to then flush it out into a feature or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's true. And you know what? That's what I've been telling people too, is that I think that, especially when you're just trying, if your ultimate goal is to be in film, I feel like the best thing to do is get as many projects done as possible of your own first. Right. And the best way is short films, because you don't have to keep, number one, it's so much quicker. You can get through it. If you say, oh, I want to do action, you write an action 10-minute short. If you say, I want to do comedy, then you can just move on to a comedy 10-minute short. You can say, I want to do romance, drama, and then you get to go through your whole portfolio in your head. The film that I was working on when I was younger, and the one that I kamikazed originally, it honestly took 2 years. It took 2 years. You know, you get to write it, then you have to get all the people, then you're calling the agents and everything. And it really took a long time. And I told myself after that, I'm never going to do that again. Like when you're trying to sell yourself to the industry in that way, you have to basically kind of convince people to believe in your idea. Whereas if you just write it, shoot it, you're on to the next thing. And before you know it, people are going to see your films and be like, hey, I have a project. I don't know what I'm doing. I like what you did. It's 30 minutes long. Can I pay you $1,000? I don't care what you do or how you do it. Like, can you just help me get it done? And honestly, that's how it's gonna start.
Oh, so wow, true. Interesting.
That's literally how, honestly, that's exactly what happened to me. Like, I just did my own stuff. And then I would be like, oh, I really want my stuff to look like this. And I would just look at lighting. I'd be like, okay, I want my lighting here. And then I would just like shoot literally like 2 or 3 minute trailers, you know, and I would just like the lighting, or I would just do it in really slow motion. I would add music. And then people just liked it enough where they were like, hey, like, you know, I have this like little short film. You know, I got $500, you know, it's only 15 pages. Can you shoot it? And I'd be like, yeah, I could shoot it, you know? And that's literally, I honestly, it's like overly simplified, but that's literally how it happens.
Wow.
Cool.
Well, that's cool. That's really...
Right, let's wrap it up. I'm going to clap. We'll edit whatever out. All right, wait. All right. Thank you
so much. I missed you, Amy, so much.
Yes, I got to come out to LA. We got to come out.
Yeah. You got to come to my bachelorette pad.
Yes.
And you're invited too, Dom. It was nice meeting you as well.
You too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll show. I got a trick I can do on the pole. I know one thing that I can show you.
Oh, you do? Oh my gosh. I wish you could do it virtually.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be up for the rest of my life, so there's plenty of time for you to try that.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. Well, add us on Instagram too. Gape. Good afternoon. We used to be Gape, and then we found out it meant butthole.
Yeah.
We didn't know. We were like, Gape, that's good afternoon plan. And then oh my God. Anyway, add us.
Spanish?
What's that?
Spanish is Gape.
No, so Gape.
What language?
I guess I don't know regular language. It means gape, something with the butthole or something. We had a troll.
Like,
Like,
yeah, gaping.
yeah, we didn't know though. We were like, oh my.
Yeah, that's funny.
Anyway,
I mean, it does mean like open space, right?
yeah.
But who's to say it meant like an asshole? Nobody said that.
There's like a
we had
whole
a troll.
society behind it, though.
Yeah,
There's
we
like,
had no idea. We had trolls come at us. Yeah, we had one guest
Came from
on.
the gape.
Yeah, they
Came
were
out
like,
the gape.
I'd like to gape Brett. He said that about one of our. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I was like, wow,
Yeah.
this is. I'll cut that one out. Everybody, add us on Good Afternoon Planet Earth _TV. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Thank you, Nicole.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.
That's it for the show, folks. Thank you for listening. Subscribe, follow, and leave a good review if you can. We will be grateful for that. Follow us on Instagram @GapeTV. Good afternoon, Planet Earth.